Hey, Dazn, man, you gotta do something, baby. Everybody listening. Dazn Boxing gotta do something, baby. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. Now, I had to make this video. Dazn is in bad shape. Needs to sign up for the Equinox or gym membership because they in bad shape. They lost Canelo Alvarez, which to me was clearly the standout #1 fighter that they had. Now, the business with Canelo didn't all the way make sense, and I'll probably make a separate video about that. I just want to encompass the overall terms. You got guys like De La Hoya, who's currently pitching Jaime Munguia versus David Benavidez. What's the problem with that? First of all, I don't think that he said it's going to be fight of the year. I don't think it's that competitive like that. From what I've seen, Benavidez is the more put together fighter. But there's one big problem. That big problem is Oscar has no connection to David Benavidez. He's a PBC fighter, Al Haymon fighter. So how can you really guarantee a fighter that you do not control the career? You don't have no partnership with them. And I noticed this with Oscar. I believe, and Eddie Hearn, two Dazn promoters, the only real Dazn boxing promoters. They keep offering up guys that they don't have, that they haven't secured. Like Richardson Hitchens did a recent interview. His fight with Montana Love just got canceled / postponed. Montana Love is claiming injury. And in this interview, Richardson Hitchens says that he signed with Rematch Room and they said he was going to get Subriel Matias, right? And so was Regis Prograis. How are you promising two different 140-pound fighters the same guy, and then this guy is also with Al Haymon and PBC? And then come to find out, Matias has his next assignment on PBC with Sergey Lipinets. So again, how are you promising Hitchinson and Regis Prograis like these deal points? Hey, sign to us and we're going to get you these fights, and then you can't deliver the fight. Similarly, you have Edgar Berlanga. For one, he went 12 rounds with a guy that Demetrius Andrade blew out in 2 rounds, and that was Jason Quigley. So that wasn't this stellar performance considering the fact that he's supposed to be a nefarious, like, big puncher, right? Jason Quigley also moved from 160 to 168, and most spectators felt the fight was very competitive and down to the wire, and the late knockdowns in the 12th round secured the win for Berlanga. So it wasn't this standout type of performance ending a long layoff for Berlanga. But Berlanga was a free agent, separated from Top Rank, and similarly, he was told most likely that, hey, we're going to try to build you up on Rematch Room and DAZN and get you a Canelo fight. But as I stated at the beginning of this video, there's one big problem. Canelo just signed a 3-fight deal with PBC. Now, Eddie Hearn is doing interviews and he's trying to spin it, but you have to be naive and have a certain level of naivete to believe that this is a good thing that Canelo left DAZN. Now, I don't doubt that Canelo, the business wasn't making sense based on the fights they were providing, and they were overpaying him, which is what I've always said. Again, I'll probably expand on this in a future video, but with Canelo doing that, that's a pretty long-term situation. You can count out 2023 Canelo being a free agent, because there's no way we're about to be 7 months into the year. There's no way Canelo completes 3 fights in the end of the year or anything crazy. He'll probably fight one more time. He fought John Ryder. It was a dud. It was a doozy. And now he's looked like he's going to fight Charlo. We have to see what happens in the outcome. But 2024, Canelo, unless he fights 2 times by summertime, he's likely DAZN won't have Canelo for the foreseeable future. You know, and again, we have to see how certain things play out. But 2023 and 2024, if he's in a 3-fight deal, are likely locked up. Because if you know Canelo, the only time he fights where he's fighting 3 or 4 times a year is if he's fighting step down conversation or a competition. If he's fighting a guy like Jermall Charlo, then That's a tough fight, even if Charlo's been on a layoff, and you can not look for him to fight as frequently. If he's fighting UK fighters and John Ryders and Avni Yildirim, that's when Canelo typically fights a little bit more, because he's not getting injured, he's not really being pushed, and he's not having really anything to think about in terms of like competition in those said fights. So he's able to fight with a different level of frequency. He's not going to do that if he's fighting Benavidez and guys like Charlo, because you probably want to rest after big fights like that and dangerous, intense fights like that. So Eddie Hearn's trying to spin it like leaving Canelo freed up the budget, but freed it up for who? Who are your stars? And it's a lot of questionable business decisions. The idea of pay-per-view is dead. Coming in with that was garbage. Now they're doing pay-per-views. Joshua is not considered the same level of star that he once was. They're having trouble getting over the line a Dillian White fight. It's like, where do they turn to? Where do they turn to? At 1 minute, Dazn also tried to sell you Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, and that never came into fruition. So it's like, where's your super fights? PBC is absolutely bulldozing and dominating the competition with star-studded fights, back-to-back fights, very good fights. You know, obviously there's different levels, like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, that's an elite level mega fight. Gervonta Davis and Ryan, mega fight. But what is the mega fight for Dazn? You guys let me know in the comment section. I'm best in the business. I'm out.